Well, we hanging in there. Not too hot though, to be honest with you. Like I said, this is another broadcast for Plus Productions broadcast. This is live and straight out of Parchman. I'm your host, Coco. I have with me the Ministry of Communications. Uh, it's been a hellacious day today, y'all. Michael Davis will not be joining us tonight. He has been thrown in solitary. It's been a day. He wanted me to tell everyone to keep pushing forward, to keep moving, and he would be back as soon as he could. That he would be back to rejoin the rest of the ranks as soon as he can. So as soon as we know something, we will let you know. But this is a little bit hard. It's hard today, y'all. So whenever you get to know somebody and you get to working with people and you grow a relationship and a connection with one another, and it takes its toll on you. So excuse me, I'm gonna try to do my best. That's my buddy right there. So worrying about him right now is a little bit. Brother Kyle, will you start us off with prayer, please?
Yeah, I'm here, Coco. So, this week we're going to be discussing the laws, the legislation.
I say, could you start the prayer, please?
The what?
Prayer.
Oh, the prayer. I apologize. There's a whole lot of yelling going on around.
It's okay. I completely understand.
Prayer to the Almighty Creator, we come before you tonight. We ask that you keep your shield of protection over us as we do this show. I ask that you watch out for each and everybody each and every one of us as we continue to do what we do from the inside and expose these people and try to push for these legislation and try to come home. I ask that you continue to keep your shield of protection across all of us as we do what we do. In the Almighty Creator's name I pray. Amen.
All right, you guys. Well, tonight we're going to be starting. It's going to be about systematic oppression, but not just systematic oppression, but everything that implements and what that absolutely means. With being oppressed, with being able to fight for our loved ones from behind bars, to being able to do it on the outside. There's been things that have been happening throughout the states, throughout our communities, and people need to get aware of. Like posts that's being posted about how they're sitting there going about doing the same thing that they did last year, and they're doing it right now, about going against telling people who to vote for now and who to vote for this, and saying don't vote against this. We need to get aware of what we're doing. We need to make it a point to know what's going on, what's circulating at all times, because our loved ones are at jeopardy right now. Our legislators, they are in office to do the state's work, the people's work. We need to make that the number one priority. Other than their safety, we need to be making sure the people that are in office know what they're supposed to be doing, are doing exactly what we want them to do, because they're there doing a job, and it's their job to do what we tell them to. And if we don't get aware of those things, then we're spinning our wheels. We got to vote these people in. We need to get the legislature, get the bills, and get all the laws passed. And all you have to do is go to your county courthouse, sit in those city hall meetings, sit in those town hall meetings. How did a law become a law? It started in a courthouse. It started in a city hall. We got to make the change. Kyle, will you go ahead and start off with your updates? Because I know we don't have that many. Would you go ahead and kick it off with that? And that way we have no interruptions this evening.
Right, yeah. For my NBOC update this week, I'm actually glad I can report and say that I haven't come across any deaths as of since last Wednesday. In Rankin County CMCF, all inmates have been given the opportunity to take the COVID-19 shot last week. As of today, visitation forms were passed out, and the word is 2 weeks after you receive the second shot, they are resuming visitation, but only, I stress it, only for those that have taken the vaccine are going to be able to participate in any programs or anything. To my understanding, they're not forcing you to take it, but if you want to participate in activities, programs, visitation, job assignments, you have to take the COVID vaccine. If you don't, there's a possibility that they're going to completely move you to a whole other housing unit if you don't take it. here in Parchman, we've had a lot of heat going on with people being shaken down and stuff because of the way that we've been exposing them here lately. Some of the shit they've been having going on. In Greene County, inmates are being given the opportunity to take the COVID vaccine, and down in Wilkinson County, they are being given the opportunity to take the COVID vaccine. For now, that's all I have for this week for my MDOC update.
All right. What do you want to start off? Do you want to start off with the legislative, with whatever bills that you've been working on this week?
Yeah, I actually just wrote down, I had jotted down some statistics and numbers and things of that nature. And as far as, a reason why we need to be trying to push this legislative matter, I want to start off with the recidivism rate. In the state of Mississippi, the recidivism rate is 33%. That's a high number, but it's not the high. The highest is Alaska with a rate of 66.41. And 2/3 of their individuals were being reincarcerated within 6 months of being released, which is the highest rate in the country. But in Mississippi, let's see, every year a bill is introduced. And by my research, they're not doing nothing for violent offenders. But like I said last week, they want to talk about reducing the recidivism rate and things of that nature, and re-entry programs and stuff like that. Those programs are only going to be successful if you give an inmate or a convict that opportunity. If you don't give them that opportunity, then you just implemented that whole program for no reason.
Right.
Granted, it teaches us stuff, but if we're locked up for 20 plus years and we take this program 100 times, well, we've been learned 100 times how to reform and change our mindset and things of that nature, but we won't be able to act in such a way until we're actually given the chance to get out and show that we have changed.
Right.
After July 1st, 1994, a bunch of offenses became mandatory, which boomed the prison population, includes habitual offenders, armed robbery, sex crimes, and many other violent offenses. We need to push for bills to get these guys that's been locked down for 15 plus years out of here. They've long since paid their debts to society. But
That's right.
the main problem I've discovered with MDOC is not just the things that they hide, but they house more violent offenders than non-violent, most of who have been locked up for a long time. But after so long of being locked up, kind of like if you've ever seen what's that movie? Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Where the old man was locked up for so long, and then he got out and got a job at the grocery store, but he didn't know how to function in a normal society. All he knew was prison life.
That's right.
And the man ended up hanging himself.
Yeah, because he couldn't handle it. Right. It's like there's
Right,
so
he
many
couldn't
different
handle
forms of suppression because people don't understand what mental, emotional, and psychological abuse that is, and that is oppression as well.
Exactly. And lately, I've been sharing across line and straight out of Portsmouth. I've been sharing our senator names, the main ones that have pushed bills and legislation for prison reform and criminal justice, as well as how to get in contact with them, who they are, what district they're over, and things of that nature.
Right.
Mississippi its main problem is overcrowding, and all of that is caused by oversentencing and mandatory minimum. Like me, I carry mine is a maximum of 30 years, but the minimum that they can give me is 20 years.
Right.
If they eliminate that and they allow all offenders to receive trustee time and things of that nature, they probably just might have a better running system.
Right. Well, how do you feel that way? Why do you feel that way?
Why do I feel that way?
Mm-hmm.
I feel that way because just off of the fact of the things that just because of the things that I've endured within these walls.
Right. And do you feel that whenever it comes to a certain level and a certain stage of a person's incarceration, they change, their thought process change? So would I be basically saying that straight up, whenever someone comes in as a young buck, because you and I both have done time. So whenever you sitting there and your young buck comes up in there, first 2 or 3 years, he ain't gonna be doing nothing. He gonna be bucking the system. He gonna be acting like he know it all. Correct? Am I right? But do you think, can you give or take within that 4 to 5 year period, that thought process changes a little bit after he sits there and does a little bit of that time? And then maybe after that, say another 5 years, at 10 years, him being sitting there, he's changed again. His thought process has changed again. Do you feel that it's safe to say that there's different stages of incarceration, and within those different stages of incarceration, there needs to be someone there to help them with that step? Because people change in every aspect of them, and growing and maturing, and then the prison life.
Oh yeah, most definitely that there needs to be someone there, and like there's certain young guys in here that they how should I say this? They don't have the respect for the older population that they should.
Exactly, for them old school cats, the ones that paved the way for all of us.
The older people, all they see them doing is getting high. They're doing the same thing as these youngins are doing. There's guys in here 60 years old walking around getting high and stuff. They're supposed to be setting an example for, hey, I'm in here with a life sentence. Don't do the things that you see me do. Being our brother's keeper, being a leader and not a follower, leading by example. Exactly. Setting the mold. Right.
Exactly. So true.
We also a leading example, but there's hardly any. There's hardly any of them elders anymore that I've met that are trying to set an example.
Right. And you know what? And I think it should be implemented, and it's not gonna happen overnight. And I want everybody to understand that. And I'm sorry, I'm quiet and I'm hush mouth today because one of my best friends is done got took and snatched the hell up. And I care about these guys and I care about these women in this panel because these are my family. And I don't just fight for them. I'm fighting for change all together. You know what I mean? So you have to bear with me. And thank you, Kyle, for being here, for still pushing through, because we haven't got what we needed yet, y'all. We haven't got anywhere where we need to be. But things are happening, things are changing. We just can't stop and stay stagnant. Does that make sense? And we need to it needs to be implemented. It's not going to take just us. It takes everybody, a collective, a whole. If we want the change, we got to be the change. I cannot sit there and say that enough. But it starts not just with, the outside advocates and activists and stuff like that. It starts on the freaking inside too. If we're not leading by example and we're not setting that structure and setting that discipline that should have been implemented a long time ago, because I ain't gonna lie, it's my generation's fucking problem. It's our fault. It's our fault, because we knew that old school way. We didn't buck them whenever they said nothing, and we didn't go against the grain. But these days and times, it's different. People want to sit there and they look at this generation that's coming up. Well, we just got to get it back to the roots. Get it back to where it's old school is running shit again. Because straight up, man, we ain't going to make it without them. Because there's knowledge and power with that old school. We just got to take it back. We got to teach everyone. We got to teach one another. And that goes back to this legislation, these bills and these laws. People, bills and laws start in a courthouse, in a city hall, in a town hall. We have to get into those offices. We have to get the people that are wanting the same thing that we're wanting and vote them into office. It's simple. If everybody wants to sit there and talk, motherfucker, y'all need to be doing something. Excuse my French.
Absolutely right.
But I'm in my feelings and emotions, and yes, I do take this seriously, and I dare somebody to tell me not to. Because this is my family back behind them walls. This is my family behind them bars that are sitting there going without meals, that are going without medical, that are going without showers, that are sitting there fucking getting stabbed the hell up and getting knocked the fuck off, and ain't nobody doing shit about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. Everybody want to talk this good talk, and they this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 but I don't see a motherfucker really getting down to the nitty gritty. Get into your city halls. Make those laws and those bills. We can make a Michael Davis law tomorrow.
Absolutely right.
That's true.
I mean, that's just real talk. We can do that right now. All we have to do is what? Have a legislator in office to do it.
And the only way to come down, like we have a sister. She's always when I hear from her, she's talking about legislation. That's the only way we'll get these people to realize.
That's right.
Call our legislators, call our senators. Get up off your ass, people. You want me to come home? You want your brother, your sister, your son, your dad, your mom. You want your mom to come home? Well, get up off your lazy ass and call your local senator, your local legislator.
That's right.
And tell them that same thing that which you inbox live straight out of parchman and say, tell that to them.
That's right. Because straight up, and I call her out, Sunshine, I know you on here. Sunshine. She can sit there and tell you herself. She talks about it every single time. Every single week, she talks about legislation, getting somebody in office, getting these bills passed. It starts with us. If you got an idea, if you got anything, it's called a solution. It's called, man, we just got to get a strategy together. Everybody can do all this talk, but we've got to put words to action. If you're just sitting there on this live right now and you're sitting here and you're talking about things and you want to do things and you want to do whatever. If you have ideas, those ideas start somewhere. Just like Dr. Martin Luther King, whenever he said he had a fucking dream, he had a dream, and guess what? Those dreams became a reality. And why did it become a reality? Because we implemented that feeling, that passion, that drive, and that motivation to push through everything that they went through. You think he wasn't oppressed? You think he didn't go through systematic racism or institutional racism or anything like that? Yeah, hell yeah, he did. Malcolm X did the same thing. Every one of the most profound leaders in America that have been in any type of movement have been oppressed, have been retaliated against. And we get that. I get that. So why are we stopping? Why are we getting stagnant? Why? They didn't. They set the example. So let's set an example for this younger generation to follow. You there? Because I know I ain't hush mouth on for everything. Come on now, because I'm in my feelings and emotions. I get ratchet up in here today.
Yeah,
I'm here with you.
I just had to
hey, there's the voice right there.
Stuff going on around me. But yeah, I feel the exact same way because I'm tired. I'm ready to come home. This ain't my home.
Exactly. And you know what's so sad about this whole situation is that everybody's sitting there that goes through these broadcasts, that goes through these podcasts, that goes through these groups or these pages and everything, that we got someone incarcerated. What you gonna do? You gonna wait so late that your loved one dead and gone? And then you're gonna be sitting there with a shoulda, coulda, wouldas? You should have got up off your ass and did something. You should have called your legislator. You should have picked up that fucking phone. You should have sit there and pushed that email through. It was an idea. It was a solution. It was something. It meant something to you.
That's
so therefore
right.
It should have meant something to them. You should have cared enough about them to get up off your butt. It don't matter if they messed up and made a mistake. Everybody does. You name me one person on God's creation that straight up ain't made a mistake, because ain't nobody perfect. You better cast the first stone. You better not. But everybody's made mistakes and fall short. Some bit more than others. But that don't give you a reason or an excuse to be done with them. So you're just gonna next them off just because they messed up because of a charge? And then get this, what's so sad about it is that some of these cases, I want to say at least 30 to 40% of these cases ain't even valid. You know what I'm saying? They wrongful convictions. But you can sit there for 20, 10, 15 years about your loved one sitting there telling you that he's innocent, and you not sit there and crack up a fucking lawyer book or open up anything or a law about a bill or about a post-conviction appeal and try to help him believe in him. It ain't the fact of the matter of the crime itself, is you giving up on your family. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back old school. Family is family at the end of the fucking day. What are you gonna do? Is your family gonna be dead before you do something? Or is that gonna be the next post on MDOC and then you're gonna be crying? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely right.
And Boosie said it best whenever he said, you gotta be about what you be talking about. Kyle, you gotta take over for a second because I'm in my feelings.
Yeah, I'm here. I was going to go on to the second part of the show talking about systematic oppression.
And we got some comments too, I think. We got any callers?
Do what?
Do we got any callers? I know there was some hits. I'm sorry for interrupting on the live chat on the StreamYard. It said just like
we have a couple on here, but as of right now, we don't have any hands up.
We've got some posts. Just go ahead and fill that little bit of spot that Mr. Michael Davis, my buddy, would be sitting here on. So my son not taking the vaccine. He is in a regional. They have said anything about that yet. Counselor, they're told me she doubt if they do it because of the cost. Wow. I know Miss Brooks, she said that, yes, absolutely. People deserve a second chance. They also need to get rid of habitual offenders for nonviolent offenses. You damn right. 60 years for marijuana is ridiculous, especially after they it's coming legalized, because the only reason why they're doing it legalized and fucked it off is because they couldn't make no money off of it. That's facts. Why are we sitting around, from Mr. Eric Robinson, why are we sitting around while all of the inmates that were convicted the same crimes before 1995? Talk to me now. Miss BB, walk it like you talk it. Facts, big facts. You better walk that line. That's all we got for this moment, Kyle. Go on ahead with it.
All right. Continuing on to the second part. Systematic oppression. Now, like I said, a little bit of education here. Systematic oppression, the definition is when the laws of a place create unequal treatment of a specific social identity group or groups. Another example of social oppression is when a specific group is denied access to programs that may hinder their lives later in life. The system, and now when I say the system, I mean this by the government, the man, whatever call it, whatever it may be. Okay, they have laws set up just so a person can fail, because they know that a person's going to fail. They have laws set up to where you have to make X amount of money just to provide, just to be able to provide for your family and stuff like that. Because if you can't, then they'll have reasons to come in and take your family and stuff like that away. Okay. Then once they start doing that, then they start looking at you as a vagrant. Once you're looked at as a vagrant, and once you are placed into a social class of being a poor person at the bottom of the totem pole, then your back's against the wall. What do you got to do? You got to do whatever you got to do to survive, whether it's selling drugs, this, that, and third, robbing people, whatever. Okay, you do that just to survive, then you come to prison. Now the society is going to look at you as a failure because they set you up to fail. They set you up for failure on that. Now you're in prison. What are you going to do now? Your back's against the wall. You're an outcast of society now because you've been marked. Now you come into prison and you're treated like a dog. Well, not even like a dog. A dog gets better treatment. Really? A dog really gets better treatment if you think about it. They get to come out of their cage and whatnot. They get we get 3 square meals a day. I've heard some older convicts say 2 hot than a cot because they really ain't got to give you nothing but 2 hot meals a day. But now you'd have been set up for failure. You're in prison and they treat you like a dog.
You still right.
What's next? Now they try and tell you that you can't get out early. Why can't you get out early? Oh, because this law says it. Well, because of your laws is really why I'm in prison.
That's right.
What's your opinion on this, Coco?
I think they all full of shit, and I think they all a whole bunch of dickheads that want to make some money, and I think that they some greedy motherfucking bastards. I think it's a sick, cruel, twisted fucking kind of environment that we fucking having to deal with. That's what the fuck I think. I think there's some fuck niggas that need to be taken out of office, straight up. You asked, and I'm gonna give it to you today. And you was talking about systematic oppression, but then it goes back to actually, does anybody really know the definition of institutional racism? I'm just asking, because I brought out some facts for you today. Because straight up, Systematic racism is a form of racism expressed in the practice of social and political institutions. It can lead to such issues as discrimination in the criminal justice, employment, housing, healthcare, political power, and education, among other issues. It says that the term of institutional racism, first coined and the first used in 1967 by Stokely Carmichael, later known as Kwame Ture. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And Charles V. Hamilton in Black Power, the politics of liberation. Carmichael and Hamilton wrote that while individual racism is often identifiable because of its most overt, nature, institutional is the society and thus receives far less public condemnation than individual racism. That's what people need to understand. There's so many different shapes, forms, and size and fashions of racism and oppression. If we sit there and fucking pay attention, it's to pit everyone against each other. It's to have control. And that's where we need to sit there and do something about this. There shouldn't be no institutional racism. There shouldn't be no systematic racism. There shouldn't be no systematic oppression or no institutional oppression. And the only way to fucking fix it is to correct it, is to get the people which is us. Hello, us. We are the people. We're the ones that sit there and are supposed to be voting this in. We're the ones that are sitting there that needs to be sitting there and drawing up these petitions because it has so many signatures on a petition and it had to go through by law because our Constitution says so. Mr. Eric Wilson says we need to stop begging legislative representatives when they work for our family. Our family have the power to remove oppression. Yes, we do. And you're exactly right. Not fair. The difference between murder and aggravated assault is the victim died, same violent act, just different results should be afforded the same parole provisions. Wow, big facts. Thanks, Mr. Eric. We appreciate that. And that goes on to even say about this straight up right here. Man, I'm gonna put it out there. Stencil, straight up. I'm gonna pull it out there because straight up, I'm over the BS. How can MDOC sit there and protect this bitch? I'm gonna call it out like it is because she's a straight bitch. She sit there, she's shiesty. That's low down. That you're gonna have somebody else taking on your motherfucking damn shit. Taking your classes, your homework, doing college fucking classes and stuff. From what I understand. Getting a good read for it, but then get this, they gonna sit there and they charging him with it. They gonna charge on hustles. Everybody knows the hustle. Everybody knows about ones that's doing anything. And I don't know what happened. So hang on a minute, because this is part 2. Get it out there. Hang on, brother. The cow. Just 1 second. I don't know what the hell, but we disconnected. So yeah, I had to forgive me. But how is you gonna sit there and let some? I'm like, what the crap? But she's literally sit there, had some her stuff. Yeah, I'm probably sure he'll get a little bit driving. He would just eat. You know what I'm saying? And probably wouldn't get shit out of the deal anyway. Just to get a little bit of leniency. to be straight up. You know what I mean? It don't make no sense. How they gonna charge this boy? How they gonna charge this man? And then she ain't even got 401k retirement, whatever. No. No. When is right is right and wrong is wrong. If you sitting there in a it fucking makes me scared. So, Brother Kyle, is you there? I tell everyone to look at MDOC site and read how DCI Mallard is singing her praises. Yeah, fucking sense. How can he get a charge and he didn't even do nothing wrong? You worked there. Positive procedures. No, you ain't supposed to be um fraternizing with. That's what it is. Fraternizing with the hell.
Yeah, fraternizing.
Fraternizing. How you gonna do that? It's ridiculous.
Let's see here.
Oh, and while you sitting there doing that, also my fuck her 13 years ago, just saying, fuck off. This, hey, that goes to show you that why they fucking come and snatched him up in front of my face today. All the way up to 2015. Just want to get you a fun fact for the day. I mean, this lady has went, I mean, just straight up, man. How you going? What? And I'm
Yes, I'm here.
You
State Senate, state representative. I have a question.
go ahead.
Like, I've had several loved ones who's incarcerated, and they were telling me how they're behind on their parole. So, who do we reach out to about their parole?
Calls caseworker. The first place you need to start is calling his case manager. They're probably going to give you a whole bunch of bullshit. They're probably going to talk a whole bunch of mess, and they can't such permission to be able to get to review whatever it is about my case. You still have to follow chain of command and protocol and procedure. He needs to reach out to on the inside, and you need to reach out on the outside. That way, it's kind of like a team effort. You know what I'm saying? He can't be doing shit unless he got somebody on the outside fighting for him, and that's the facts of it. People, these guys and these women that's in prison, they can't do nothing. Ranking, where classifications are mistaken. I know for a fact it is.
Okay.
So you can actually get in touch with somebody from classification as well. Classification, get him on the case to start.
So I'll will and legislative contact info.
Okay, thank you. I'm answering
Just,
it.
I mean, we're all together. So just
Catherine.
yes, ma'am. We've got a post for Miss. It's similar as second degree life, and they don't have sentence reduction options after something about that. Let's see. They slinging out a certain group of inmates and taking it upon themselves to deny them a second chance. Someone care. He is the same to my there should be a segment designed to push for making the legislative representatives offer parole across. Yeah, Brother Kyle, that was the comments. Where you at?
Okay, I apologize. I was pulling up some contact information. What was that?
They what? Oh, you was pulling up contact information. You what? Paid attention. I don't know what am I for anyone after 2000 and sentence reductions after options. There's no Senate reduction options after 2014. Second degree homicide till after 2014. It's a violation of our civil rights that those who got charged with similar 1995 and 2014 got life, and they don't even have sentence reduction options. And that just goes to show you about the bills, about these laws, about this legislation. If you don't know what dead and alive is, it ain't just breathe. The language, you better get to know it, because we're in a fight for our lives. We're in a fight for our loved ones' lives. Go ahead, Kyle.
And you know, a lot of this, to the ways, not just the ways, such as exploitation, marginalization, powerlessness, cultural domination, and violence. You know, like they exploit us, these high commissary prices, creating problems by placing a certain individual around. Exploitation to see if we're going to put they create problems to start problems.
They sure do. And then they tell us that it's our fault.
Right, and they tell us it's our fault, but the whole time it's really coming, it stems back from them doing it because they're the one that came on their own and announced this is a problem, and they want to see how it would be a trick.
I mean, it's just
less that they have to worry about.
that's right. And that comes out of their pocket.
Yeah, and it comes out of their pocket.
Well, y'all, I think I get on here every week and say the same thing over and over and over again. Over and over again. We can't tell you how much or how serious that this is anymore. Because straight up, I think we've done said every single freaking thing that we could possibly imagine to say it. Different ways of saying it. And I mean, it's to a point where, what are you going to do? Are you going to give up? What's the point? If you're sitting on these shows or in these lives or whatever like that, and you're just sitting here just to be sitting here to pass your time or what the fuck ever, get the fuck out. I'm point blank serious as a heart attack. If you're not willing to stand up whenever we need you to stand up, and that is now. That's not yesterday or last night or tomorrow or I'll do it tomorrow or These men don't have the next freaking 30 minutes. My friend didn't have not 30 seconds. You get what I'm saying? He didn't have 30 seconds. The guys that have sit there and they've passed away, they didn't have a next breath. I mean, what and the help and the rights that we deserve. You know what I'm saying? This is not a game. This is not just some social media freaking just implementation of just pass the time. These are cries for help. These are real live individuals. These are someone's brothers and sisters. These are aunts and uncles. These are so much, and you're basically honestly slapping them in the face or kicking them in the grave. And that's just real talk. Brother, do you have any thought process on this?
Yes, I do.
Please.
Yeah, like you
tell me.
said, we talk about, we really say the same thing week after week, and we will only show progress once we start making these steps. And when I say we, I mean our loved ones, our family members, our friends, those that say they want us to come home. We will only see change and progress once they start to get behind these things on the table right now.
And that's sad.
Neither one of them affects us getting out early. Neither one of them is for early release or anything of that matter.
And you know,
one of them is the
I'm sorry, Kyle.
one of them, which is the incarcerated women thing.
Ban us from protest. Really, the enjoyment of their environment. Really, and then like at the beginning of all this mess, at the beginning of every fucking thing that's been implemented, the way this whole fucking shit started, Parchman Prison, the riots, the guys leaking out the videos about every single one of them crying, begging, screaming for help. And just recently with kinetic justice, without what he was going through, beat the fuck down. Our leaders are getting beat down. The people that are sitting there wanting change, wanting justice, and trying to help from the inside as well. You know what I'm saying? Get beat down, and that ain't got nothing. They ain't got no business in a movement like this. This ain't about me. This ain't about you, people that's in the streets. This is about these guys and these women that's in prison. That's what it's about. It's about getting in the people in the right places and positions to actually get the change that they need. And if you sitting here promoting self, then you need to get on down. You need to literally get on down, because it ain't you that's needing this. It ain't about you. It ain't about your money. It ain't about your relationship. It ain't about shit to do with brothers. Some of us are trying. Some activists act like mediocre prison reform bills are enough. It's the same day, the highest recidivism rate. You're right. And whenever you're sitting there and you talking about this bills and legislators, whenever that are sitting got all that, there's an issue there. That's the reason why they kept on repetitive coming back. One, you set them up for failure. Two, they're coming back to society. It is skills, no trades. You don't treat them maintain to be able to cope with anything or communication. Comfortable is so much better. Them going back drug offenders shouldn't even be in prison. They should, you exactly damn right. Drug offenders should not even be in prison. They should be in a rehabilitation center that's actually going to help them because they have a issue. And until you get the chemical dependency out of the way, then you're not going to be a reformed fucking addict. But I'm an addict. Once an addict, always an addict. But you got to fight that way. And you got to be able to get through that shit. You got to learn how to cope with it and maintain with it. But to be a reformed addict, to be someone that's been there and done that, you can sit there and tell it to your brother or your sister. Like, look, I know what you're going through. I know exactly what it is. I know what it's like to get fucking fucked off and throwed off. Just to run away from the reality of what the fuck is really going on, because it hurts so damn bad, because no one ever taught me the coping mechanisms. You can now, because I got through it. If you need somebody to talk to, I guess I'll be a counselor. Hell, don't expect me not to tell you the truth, though. I'm going to give it to you like it is. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right. And you know, Bill Kane spoke about something dealing with the the addicts and the drug users and stuff in
right.
His last update. He said we don't need to be bad.
That's
Prison, like, now, I'm not going to lie and say that there aren't some people that absolutely need to be in prison. You got some
because there
people
are.
that really are messed up and really need to be in prison. You got some people that, like, goes back to what I said earlier. They got behind, they lose their job, or they go through a midlife crisis,
That's right.
something of that nature, and then they're back against the wall, and they go back to something that
they know.
been a comfort zone for them. They go back
Right.
to get high. Once they go back to get high, they spend their money getting high. They spend all their money getting high. Now they're broke. Now they're back against the wall. I got a house. I got a family, and I got bills I got to pay.
And then what do you do?
Robbing, not just for those main things, though, but to feed their addiction. They get caught up trying to feed that addiction and support their family at the same time. They come to prison.
That's right. I mean, we just got to get.
They got a charge. I strongly feel shouldn't even be a charge, and that's called theft by receiving stolen.
Like exactly whatever you sitting there in your
Share about our sister programs. We have the Globe, and a little bit about that, about their loved ones and what's going on around their incarceration and how it affects them. We have another show called Live with Book and Sarah. They discuss things that's going on throughout the nation and how it affects the people as a whole. We have, this called right here, Live and Straight Out of Parchman, which we discuss
everything,
legislation and the different ways of how we should push legislation. We have The Voice, which is a show dedicated to formerly incarcerated women and how they're affected.
That's right. It's Victims Overcoming. It's actually The Voice is something that's very dear to my heart. My girl Shay's got it. She's a Reiki, and it's called the Victims Overcoming Incarceration with Clean Energy. She's a Reiki, and she has been trained to do healing, self-healing, healing someone from the inside out. Whenever you're okay on the inside, you're okay outside. Whenever they teach you these coping mechanisms and shit, I've been looking into it, and straight up, she ain't lying. It works. And if I can say it works, it works. Because normally I'm crazy. But I'm okay. But Live and Straight Out of Parchment, like he was saying, these broadcasts that we're sitting out here and we're putting on these platforms are all Plus Productions. And we want to give them all the recognition, because these ladies and these men that put in the work on this. We also have Free the Guys. It's a platform of multiple people from multiple places, and it's exactly what it stands for, Free the Guys. There's amazing cast, amazing hosts and coordinators with that. And if you want to check them out, you can check them out on their times. You can look on Live and Straight Out Parchment, go to the Low, go to Free the Guys, go to all these different places. Check them out. I know we ain't got we don't have any more time, as a matter of fact. So please understand, we're not here for shits and giggles. We're not here to just blow hot air up your assholes or anything like that. Straight up, we're here to get some change, get some people that's going to do something. We don't have any more time, you guys. Like, straight up. Be praying for Michael Davis, which is also my partner, which is our host, which is one of my best friends. Straight up. I'm worried about him, so keep him in your prayers. Yeah. Kyle, close us out with prayer.
All right. Thanks to the Almighty Creator tonight for giving us this opportunity to be able to speak and voice our feelings and things of that nature. I ask that you keep your hand over our brother and Michael Davis. Keep an eye on him. I pray that
And we will see you next week. So this has been a Plus production, the loudest strata parchment.
And while you sit there doing
So
that, also Michael Davis has admitted.
keep it real.